Some breaking news here. Donald Trump has been ordered to pay $83.3 million in the E. Jean Carroll case, a massive sum owed to the fact that after being ordered to pay $5 million as part of an initial judgment, he went out within 24 hours of the ruling and said this.
Do you think that will deter women from voting for you?
No, I don't think so, because I think the whole thing, just so you understand, ready? I never met this woman. I never saw this woman. This woman said, I met her at the front door of Bergdorf Goodman, which I rarely go into other than for a couple of charities. I met her in the front door. She was about 60 years old, and this is like 22, 23 years ago. I met her in the front door of Bergdorf Goodman. I was immediately attracted to her, and she was immediately attracted to me. And we had this great chemistry. We're walking into a crowded department store. We had this great chemistry, and a few minutes later, we end up in a room, a dressing room of Bergdorf Goodman, right near the cash register. And then she found out there were locks on the door, so she said, I found one that was open. She found one. She learned this at trial. She found one that was open. What kind of a woman meets somebody and brings them up, and within minutes, you're playing hanky-panky in a dressing room, okay? I don't know if she was married then or not. John Johnson, I feel sorry for you, John Johnson.
Mr. President, can I...
And so Trump came into this second trial having essentially already lost, considering he committed an identical crime as the one he was found liable for in the first trial. And so the whole point of this second trial was to land on a number in terms of money damages that might actually do the job that the $5 million didn't do after the first trial, which was to deter Trump from defaming this woman again. Hopefully this new amount accomplishes that goal, but then again, knowing Donald Trump, we may very well find ourselves right back here a few months from now talking about the exact same thing. And let's be clear, that wouldn't necessarily be off the table because Trump views trials as campaign events. He gets to do his favorite shtick every time he ends up in a courtroom, which is to throw temper tantrums and stomp his feet and pout real big for the cameras, all the while presenting himself as the victim. Trump's whole campaign has focused on this notion that the evil communist Marxist Democrats and their accomplices in the deep state are all out to get him, and that if they can do it to him, then they can do it to you. Now, first of all, no one is out to get Donald Trump. He is simply being held accountable for his own actions. He's on trial in D.C. for trying to prevent the electoral certification. He's on trial in Florida for stealing classified documents from the White House. He's on trial in Georgia for leading a criminal enterprise in their efforts to undermine the election results. He's on trial in Manhattan for committing campaign finance violations. None of this is the fault of anyone but Donald Trump. He made the conscious decision to do all of these things, so the notion that it's anyone else's fault that he's being held to account for his own behavior is an absolute joke. And second of all, if they can do it to me, they can do it to you. Yes, exactly. If any of you out there try to block the electoral certification or steal classified documents or undermine the election results or commit campaign finance violations, yes, the same thing can happen to you. That's the point. That's how laws are supposed to work. And yes, they're supposed to apply to everyone, even the President of the United States. In his interminable complaining, Trump has inadvertently just proven that finally our justice system is working as intended. And finally, on this idea that Trump is the victim, Donald Trump was found liable of abuse. He is not the victim in any way, shape, or form here. What's worse, he is literally sitting across the aisle from his actual victim. To claim you're the victim when you're clearly not is bad enough, but to claim you're the victim in the same room as the woman you victimized really does put on full display the delusional state that Trump is trafficking in. And that's a point that E. Jean Carroll's lawyer, Sean Crowley, made in the courtroom. Crowley's latest words, this isn't a campaign rally, it's not a press event, this is a court of law, and it's Miss Carroll's life. Donald Trump sexually assaulted her, he defamed her, he is not the victim, this is her life, help her take it back, make it stop, make him pay enough so that he will stop. The truth is that Trump and his mouthpieces don't care whose life they have to destroy in their pursuit of power. For Trump, he knows that invoking E. Jean Carroll's name is a cheap applause line at his rallies, and because he needs the adulation, he'll keep bringing her up. It doesn't matter to him that it's invoking the name of his own abuse victim. He doesn't care. He only cares about the applause from his fans and getting one step closer to the White House. And this is a recurring phenomenon. Giuliani and Trump utterly destroyed the lives of Shea Moss and Ruby Freeman, two Georgia election workers who those guys pretended committed fraud because they needed some scapegoat for their lies.
Money will never solve all of my problems. I can never move back into the house that I called home. I will always have to be careful about where I go and who I choose to share my name with. I miss my home, I miss my neighbors, and I miss my name. I've heard some of you. Don't be sad for me. Don't waste your time being angry at those who did this to me and my daughter. We are more than conquerors. Pray for us as we continue to fight the good fight of faith. If you remember one thing I say today, remember this. Faith is what carried us through the most difficult years of my life. And faith will carry you through hardships that you face in life. Understand that the devil is a liar. He is defeated, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper.
The lies Rudy Giuliani told about me and my mommy after the 2020 presidential election have changed our lives, and the past few years has been devastating. The flame that Giuliani lit with those lies and passed to so many others to keep that flame blazing changed every aspect of our lives. Our homes, our family, our work, our sense of safety, our mental health, and we're still working to rebuild. As we move forward and continue to seek justice, our greatest wish is that no one, no election worker or voter or school board member or anyone else ever experiences anything like what we went through. You all matter, and you are all important. We hope no one ever has to fight so hard just to get your name back. We're very grateful to the jury for taking the time out of their busy lives to do their civic duty, to listen to everything that we've been going through. I know I won't be able to retire from my job with the county like my grandmother did, but I hope by us taking these steps, these very big steps towards justice, that I can make her just as proud.
Over and over, Trump and the people he surrounds himself with will destroy the lives of anyone standing in their way if it means they get one step closer to power. So at this point, E. Carroll will yet again get some justice at the hands of a New York jury, although time will tell if Trump will finally learn his lesson. But if history has taught us anything, we can absolutely expect to see him right back there in that courtroom sooner rather than later. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to the channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.